Hello folks, and welcome back. So we put a post up not so long ago asking what content that you wanted from Equidance moving forward, and we had some really interesting answers. So one of the things that you've been asking for was about cobs and connies and how we can make music work with everyday horses, because I know that of course not everyone's got big posh expensive warm bloods. And the other thing, well, we're going to do plenty of that, don't we? Because those of you who know us already, that's our passion. And the other thing that you guys asked for, which surprised me but is brilliant, was judges' perspectives. So one of the things we're going to do is do maybe 3 or 4 judges. And of course we'd start with one of the best in the business. She's been doing it since it began. And it's Clare Deithrick. And I'm down in literally end of anywhere, Cornwall, with the most beautiful view outside. So, Clare, lovely to meet you finally. You've been teaching my wife, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, Kelly, at Chard.
At Chard?
Yeah, yeah, she did good.
She's doing all right, isn't she?
Yeah, really good.
Fingers crossed for the for those of you who've got to watch this over the next few days. She's got regionals coming up. So
yeah, brilliant.
She's doing as much training as she possibly can
to
try and get through to the nationals on our gelding. Fingers crossed. We all know this feeling, don't we? It's like, is it? Do our best, not every year. So tell me, with you, where did it start? I mean, you ride, but you don't currently ride competitively. Is that correct?
I've got a couple of horses at the moment. So I've got MJ, who we bred, who I was doing a little bit. I want to have a go at a few into 2s on him this year, just locally. But he's 18 now, so yeah. And then I've got one other one that was coming along quite nicely at medium. He tweaked a tendon last year, so he's just coming back in now. Then we had another setback at Christmas with an eye infection, but hopefully, touch wood, we should get back on as soon as we get. No, you never know.
The biggest self-harmers, aren't they?
Yeah, the biggest self-harmers. Yeah.
So let's talk about what our followers want to talk about, and that's music from the other side of the glass.
Yep.
Or the Jaguar sat on the.
Yeah.
I'm sat on the Land Rover judging a test. What are you looking for when that horse comes in to the arena and everything gets going? What sort of things are you looking for as a list one judge, ladies and gents? Yeah.
From the music side?
From everything, really. Everything. From the freestyle, yeah.
So I think when they come in, I think when you watch the freestyle, for me, it should take you away to a different place.
Yeah.
So that's what I always think when I watch it. If it's the right music, it kind of takes you away to a different place and you almost don't, you're transported a little bit, and then you can get into the groove of it. And I think that the music needs to suit the horse and the rider. So sometimes when you judge people, I get the impression that the music's been chosen for them rather than they've chosen their own music. So actually then it doesn't always look right. And I think you can tell if they don't enjoy riding to it. Whereas often if you've spoken to, like you guys would, you'd speak to the people, have quite a lot of communication with them, so you get the right music for the right horse and the right rider.
Well, we have this, look at this. What's this one's name?
Sherbet.
I know Sherbet. I mean, look at what a gorgeous cat. We'll carry on, Sherbet. Okay. You can join the conversation if you have anything you'd like to add, then feel free. So we have a magic triangle, everyone knows about this, where we say, obviously, the music's got to fit the horse.
Yeah.
The judges have not got to hate it.
Yes, definitely the judges have not got to hate it, yeah.
And then, but you've got to love it as a rider.
I think you have, yeah. Because I think it shows in the performance. If you really love riding to it, I think it really shows in the overall performance.
Sherbet's seen your microphone. It's like, what is that? We've got cuddles going on now and everything. Tilly, do you want to call Sherbet? Hey, Sherbet. We've got Tilly over here. She's been down with me, with my sister. But the music side of things, I mean, there are so many different styles. There are millions of published pieces of music that people can use. We're going to go off piste here. Tell me a horror story. No names.
Oh, so I saw, well, there was one that I saw once at a regionals actually, and it was a beautiful, fine, quite thoroughbody type horse, and she came in with really heavy rock music that didn't fit. The whole thing looked awful. She didn't look very comfortable riding it, and for me, that was probably the worst one I've ever seen. I don't know why you would ever pick those pieces of music and put them with that horse.
For a more delicate
style. It was a really fine, light-footed horse, and they had, it was not great. And then the whole performance was, and then I think that it didn't look right, there was no right feel to it. Yeah,
sure.
And she was, that was the worst. That was probably the worst one I've ever seen. And also I've seen a little kid once riding around to some quite sort of operatic-y, very heavy classical.
Right.
And that to me just didn't look...
Mum
It didn't, I think so. Yeah.
Or the trainer.
I think, or the trainer. That didn't look right at all. So to me, they were kind of the two that I remember as being like, not so good.
I mean, I think it's wonderful. I love it. When we go to a show, I love watching everyone's music because you never know what's coming. It's like having a bag of sweets and not knowing what's in it without a name on it.
Yeah, and it can be anything. It can be anything, can't it? I think there's a lot more new ideas coming in now than it used to be.
Sure.
I think people used to think they had to have sort of just kind of classically.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think people are a lot more open-minded because more people do it, I guess.
More people are doing it. I think there's been quite a bit of growth in it, which is amazing. Venues find it hard to put things on, but they seem to include music now with a lot of the...
Yes, they are definitely trying to, and I think more judges are trying to... You have to do the music paper to be able to do it, and I think that we need to encourage more judges to do that. So,
but it's not easy. I mean, I always picture as if I was judging music, and you're sat there and it comes in. Now, for one, you don't know where they're going, and we'll talk a bit about floor plans in a minute. So you're sort of trying to figure out, hang on, so that's a 15-metre circle, right rein, leg yield, and you're like trying to mark that, and at the same time trying to get an overall picture with the music. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's quite important, because elementary, it's like a coefficient of 4 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, there's quite a lot on it now.
Yeah.
And I think it needs to be, because they don't know where you're going, you need to make sure all your movements are quite clearly started and finished, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I know, that classic one where the circle isn't quite complete.
Yeah, and then you could argue whether they have actually finished a circle or...
They haven't actually done a circle. Yeah, exactly. So, listen to that. It's a really, really good point. Make sure your circles are absolutely complete.
Yeah, so any compulsory movement's really, really clear with a defined, start and finish to them.
Now, floor plans, I mean, it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating, because you'd think... Like at prelim, it's quite hard to do a good floor plan because you've got 3 circles in trot, one half a circle stretch minimum, and then you've got your 2 20-metre counter circles and 20 metres of medium and free walk. Yeah. So you can think, well, what can I actually do with that? But have you got any suggestions?
I think the thing with the stretching circle for me at prelim, especially when people are starting out, sometimes it's not that clear which one is the stretching circle. Right. So I think sometimes if they put them in a different part of the test, so if they put the normal working trot 20-metre circles maybe in the body of the trot, and then perhaps put the stretching circle somewhere different, either at the end, like at the end, or slightly broken up or something, I think that can help it be really clear then which one you're doing, because when people are starting out, sometimes it just doesn't quite come off on the day and they're nervous or whatever. And some people, I've seen them literally ride 2 in a row. So they've ridden 2 20-metre circles on the left.
What, at the same place?
In exactly the same place, double circle in the same place, and then one of them obviously was a stretching circle because there was only one left-handed circle, but they weren't so clearly defined. And I think sometimes, I've seen it more than once.
Wow. Okay.
So I think often it's maybe when people have had a go at their own plan, and they just think, I'll just do both my circles here.
Right.
And I would say
two on the right with one of them showing some stretches on, maybe.
Yeah. So sometimes people have misunderstood the brief as well, and they have ridden 4.
Yeah. Okay.
They've ridden two working circles and then 2 stretching circles.
Yeah. I think it can be a little bit confusing, can't it? It's like a novice when you have to show a few strides of medium. A lot of people think that they've got to do it on both reins. But
definitely, and you don't actually have to. And then they're trying to put more things in.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one on, or the other thing where they misinterpret the prelim especially, is they don't think you have to they do 1 stretching circle on one rein and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then on the other rein they do the 20-metre trot circle.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then obviously
that's
quite...
a few times.
Yeah, and if you have people...
comes in, I'm like, you're missing a circle. And they're like, well, no, I did it on both reins and I showed some stretch on one of them. Yeah,
I think it's more common than you think, I think, actually, that they misunderstand that,
Or with the 20 metres, it's got to be 20 metres of clear walk.
And all joined up. They changed that a few years ago because people used to try and break. Do
like 5 metres, then into a 3, and
then do another few
15 metres. That's an important note there. You see, you're getting it from the best here, you know, you're getting all the tips.
Because they are quite common, they are quite common mistakes.
Moving to the other end of the spectrum, what's your thoughts on the kind of patchwork style technical musical on the Grand Prix these days?
Oh, well, I think they're very clever. They're very clever on the Grand Prix. And so long as it's like put together well,
sure.
And it's really, they're amazing what they come up with now.
What now? I mean, was it Becky Moody comes in straight into a double pirouette, into single tempies, into a double pirouette? It's like...
Yeah, and it's amazing. And then if she pulls it off, and the music's amazing, then it looks amazing. Yeah. And I think sometimes people watch people like that at that level, and then they think, oh, I'm going to make mine amazing. Yeah. And even then at advanced, medium or PSG, but they're not quite.
Sure.
And then it can backfire, I think.
So with the technical difficulty, which of course, for those that don't know, technical difficulty only comes in as a mark at medium and above.
Yeah.
But technical difficulty, I think, would you agree with me that sometimes it's better to go to something that you're going to actually nail if you're green at it?
Yeah, definitely.
And get the flow rather than go, well, I'm just going to try and do something that I'm clearly not, our partnership's clearly not. Because
I think you see that quite a bit. They try and do something that actually they can't quite do, and then it ends up with everything just looking a little bit untidy.
Sure.
Whereas you're better to go slightly, you might not get a massive degree of difficulty mark, but equally, if you ride it and it doesn't come off, you're still not going to get the degree of difficulty mark.
No, I know.
And that's possibly going to even end you up slightly lower.
The thing that people was asking mainly was about what are your guidelines? What would you give as some advice to people who haven't done it before? Because it can be scary.
Yeah, and I think some people are quite nervous because they don't know where to start.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it's not as difficult as people think, but I do think if you've never done it before, you're better to get some advice from like yourselves or a lot of people from your own trainer, because some of the trainers can help with the plans, or somebody like you guys can do the whole thing.
Yeah, sure.
So book yourself onto a clinic and just go and give it a go and get started, because I think, especially if you're a bit nervous, the music can help you and your horse.
There's we did a video and we put it up. I can't just post it on Facebook, but I can send links. So if any of you want the 1 hour long kind of me and Kelly talking about all the bits and details,
getting started,
just PM us and we'll send you the link. I can't put it up because it's got music on it and you're not.
You're not allowed. But I think that's a really good idea, because I think once people know a little bit more about it, then it's not so daunting.
Yeah.
And it's good fun, and it's another class to do and get out and.
Well, plus if you're going
a level,
anyway,
if you're going a level, it's another class to do, isn't it?
You've already got the horse there in the trailer or the box. You may as well enter another class on the same day. Yeah, and it is good fun. So, this is amazing. Our first judge to come and talk to us. Well, obviously we had lovely Isabel Wessels on lockdown virtually via camera, who's a really good friend. We'll try and get Isabel back actually in the studio at some point, but we're also going to talk to some other judges, so we're going to release them individually and do a montage of all the different bits. But thanks very much, Claire, for having us on our way back home.
Thanks for coming.
No, it's fine. Thanks, folks. Take care. See you soon.